So we're making this mini Bluetooth speaker, and the next thing to look at is the electronics. So I'm just going to do a quick review of what we have here. We have a lithium ion battery here. This side with the band is the positive side, so make sure when you put it into the battery holder, you put it the right way around. The positive side is the opposite end to where the spring is. Okay, so this is a 3.7 volt lithium ion battery, and that's going to this battery charging module here. So I've wired that up as indicated in your design folders. It's a USB-C module, this, so it's compatible with the modern format. And then the output from this is going to power an LED and a Bluetooth audio amplifying board, which is then connected to some little speakers, little micro speakers. Now, there's a switch here I've not attached yet. The reason why I've not attached this switch is because I want to mount this switch in the case, and I need to push it through from the outside. There's this little rim on the speaker here. I need to make sure that that rim is on the outside, and then you can see the terminals go into the box. So I've got to make sure that I push it into the box first, and then I wire it up afterwards. So I'll be doing that shortly. And then you can see on here, we have the location where the switch goes. So this basically is my circuit breaker. I think I'm going to hold it like this so you can see what happens. And basically when I turn the circuit on, I've made two little hooks here in the red wires so that I can hook them together and also hook them through the terminals of the switch here. When I turn the switch on, it's like I'm closing that circuit. You see the power light comes on there, the LED. Yeah, hopefully you heard the speakers turn on there, and you can see the Bluetooth light is flashing on the amplifier board there to show it's trying to find a Bluetooth signal. And then if I release the wires or turn the switch off, everything turns off. Now I want to just highlight here that the LED is in series with this ballast resistor, this protective resistor. And it's also the LED and the resistor is also connected in parallel to the amplifier board, which means that the ground line or negative line from the charging module comes through to the negative side of the LED because this has polarity. Make sure you get it the right way around. And the ground side or negative side of the amplifier board. And then the positive side from the charging module goes through the switch to turn it on and off, then goes to the positive side of the LED, and then goes also to the positive side of the amplifier board. And we're doing it in parallel because we want to get the full voltage, which is technically 3.7 volts, from my lithium-ion battery to both the LED and the amplifier board. And what's being shared here is the current flow. But if I'm not mistaken, I think red LEDs operate at about 15 milliamps. So the current draw, the electrical current draw by the LED is very, very small indeed. So we've still got plenty of current being provided here to the amplifier board. So make sure the wiring is set up correctly there. Now you'll see here that I've got some insulation tape on. Let's make sure those wires don't touch. On the positive side of the LED here. I haven't insulated yet the negative side, and I've got a bit of a wire just sticking out there. So what I'm going to do is just trim that wire back there. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I can't actually see where the bit of metal has gone there, which is not very good because I don't want that bit of metal to cause a problem in the rest of the circuit, but right now I can't see it. I was hoping to catch that in my hand. Make sure those wires aren't touching, and I've got some black insulation tape here. Just got to make sure I get a clean edge to this. Just stick that down there temporarily. I'll put that in the bin in a second. And then let's just make sure that this is going to be insulated. Now I'm going to cut my tape like this. And then I think what I'm going to do here is just cut into it halfway there. So I've got a cut like that. And then can I bring that over the wires like this and over the top? Like that. So I'm kind of insulating those wires, and I still have the resistor wires exposed here. Now I could also cover that resistor and the wires, exposed wires, completely in tape, but I think that when I mount this into the box, I can make sure that nothing's touching there. I'm going to keep that resistor visible. You don't have to, of course, but I think I will. I can also see as well here on this charging module, there's a bit of wire sticking up there. So again, I'm just going to try and trim that off. This time I have been able to get the bit of metal, so I'm going to put the bit of metal and the insulation tape there into the bin. Okay, so let's just double check that's working one more time. Yeah, that is looking good. Making sure both speakers are working. Yeah, that feels good there. Fantastic. Okay, right. So I'm going to pause the video for a second, and then I'm going to have a look at putting this switch into the box, and then we'll look at the wiring. Couldn't find the pause button then. Okay, right. So let's just make sure that tape's sorted. So I've got myself a screwdriver here, and what I'm going to be doing with this is actually removing these little tabs. I don't know whether you can see this, but there's little tabs either side here. And the idea of these tabs, it's not quite focusing there, but they're supposed to compress in when you push this into a suitable mounting hole and lock in position. But I just find they cause a lot of problems. So I'm actually going to get a screwdriver here, and I'm wearing some glasses here. So protecting my eyes, some safety glasses, and I'm going to see if I can just rip those out, and that doesn't seem to be working very well there. So let's just see if I can get some side cutters on this. Is this going to give me more success just to pull that out there? This is where you should test before showing the process on a video. Okay, let's have a see. Is that coming out there? Yeah, that's coming out there, and I think I'm just going to trim that back like so. Put a bit of plastic in the bin there. So there's still a little clasp there, still a little edge that's going to pull in, but it's hopefully not going to be blocking the process. Let's just also trim this back here as well. And I feel as if what I'm going to have to do here too, yeah, that's nice, is get a small file and just clean up the edge there as well. Of course, you don't have to work with this type of switch. You could work with a toggle switch. It's much easier to work with, but I wanted to see if I could do it with this. So I can see there's a bit of an edge there and a bit of an edge there. I'm going to get a needle file now and just trim those back. Okay, so I actually ended up using there a needle file and an X-Acto blade. An X-Acto blade just to try and trim it back, and a needle file just to clean up the edge there. So I think I am pretty good there. So what we're going to do, let's have a see. There's the back of the box, and I'm going to have it so that the off position is going to be when it's pushed up, and the on position is going to be when it's pushed down. And I haven't tested this yet, so hopefully that is going to be a nice tight fit, and it is. That actually goes in really nicely. Now, before I go too far there, I've just noticed there's still a little edge on there. So I was doing this over the bin earlier, but I'm just going to show you on here. Yeah, I just want to try and get that cleaned up there. There, that's feeling a little bit neater now. Let's just try that again. Let's pop that in there. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about that. Still a little bit of an edge. Okay, so when this is done, what I'm going to do is take this across to the soldering station and go ahead and solder the wires on. Is that going to push in there? Oh, that's a beautiful fit. That is a really beautiful fit there. There we are. Nice. That's in there beautifully. I love that. And there's the switch on the inside. So I'm going to take it across to the soldering station. I'm going to solder those wires in. I'm also going to look at putting in the LED as well. And for the LED, what I'm probably going to do here, I've also got to think about how I'm going to mount everything else up in here. So I think I'm going to solder up the switch, then I'll come back and we'll talk about how everything is going to be mounted inside.